There you go. We're recording. That's good news. Yeah, you can get past sunshine. Yeah, of course you can, mate. Sit down. This is my son, Bo. I never pressed record last week, and we shared so much wisdom last week. So yeah, just remember last week I shared this one with you guys. It's called the yin yang palm position. So you get your left hand like this, and you grab your left thumb with your right hand, and then you curl your hand over, and then your knuckle, your right thumb knuckle, put that into your navel, your belly button, and then just let your hands roll down. And that is perfectly over the lower dantian. Lower dantian is a key energy center in Taoism for longevity, strong foundation, boosts energy, stamina, vitality, and immunity. And it keeps us grounded in the world. Anyone wants to ask any questions at any time, you can feel free. We did have a mantra to do this week that two mantras I suggested that we work with. I'm going to give a different mantra every week, a different mantra, because my Buddhist teacher told me that when you hear a mantra that makes you feel like you're with somebody you trust, like whether it's your grandfather or your mom or your dad or someone you really trust, an uncle that you trusted and you really felt safe with. If you hear a mantra and you get that feeling, that's your mantra. Okay, so that might be a different mantra for every person. So that's why I'll share many different mantras with you guys. Okay. So I invite you to just close your eyes, rest your awareness on your breath. And just feel the body naturally be pulled to the earth. Because it belongs to the earth. It's always changing. It's actually always dying to the past. The body that started this presentation just a couple of minutes ago is gone now. And as we breathe in and out, what would we do if we became attached to one of the in-breaths and we decided we were going to cling onto it? The first thing would happen is that breath would change. It wouldn't be the same breath. It's always changing. It would become more, the chemistry would change in it, more carbon dioxide in it, and so on. But we would also suffocate because we're trying to cling on to something that's nature is impermanent. So impermanence is not what makes us suffer. It's clinging to something and wanting it to be permanent. So just as we need to let go of every inhale for survival, allow the past to fall away. Allow the body to keep changing. And love that, accept that. And now bring your awareness to the awareness that is aware of that. Okay, there is an awareness within us that can understand that concept. That is the soul, that is the spirit. And while we're in this state, I'm going to read the next chapter, what we're up to. in this text. Okay, we're up to chapter 5. This is the third week. So listen to the text with no attachment. And as I've said, we've constantly be aware of the world of form and the world of the Tao, the emptiness. So as I speak, always be aware that the words belong to the yo world, the existence world. The space between them belongs to the Tao. So chapter 5, the Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty, yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. So you guys can open your eyes to still stay with the breath. And feel free at any point, okay? This is an open group. So feel free at any point to share your insights on this, because there's not one. Even when I read this text now, I've had insights into this text. And I've constantly got deeper insights as my journey has gone on. So if anyone wants to share anything, please do. The Tao doesn't take sides, it gives birth to both good and evil. If we go to this slide, this is the Tao normal creation and Tao reverse creation. We go over this every week. My teacher says that this is the highest philosophy. The highest philosophy. This, if you studied this for the rest of your life, you would continuously get insights into the nature of creation and where all beings are going. And I bring it up here because I don't know if you can see where my mouse is. When I looked at one of the recordings, back on the recordings, I couldn't see my mouse, so I hope you can see it. But that center line that goes across, can you see that on your phone then? So sorry. That center line that goes across, that's above where it says heaven. It's just below number 1. That line, above that line, is the Wu world. It is the no thingness world. You can see it? Okay, thank you. It's the world of the Tao. And everything below it is the yo world, the existence world. Buddha called this Kung, which is emptiness. Buddha called this Si, which is form. So the Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. This yin yang symbol, that belongs there. The Tao creates a condition called one, and I'll repeat this every week because we can never hear this enough. One is, it means hundonichi, it's blade condition, okay? Heavy, over eons, heavy chi and light chi separate. Heavy chi falls, light chi rises and creates two, which is yin yang. Yin yang is a part of the existence world. Heaven is the spiritual world. Earth is the physical world. They're a yin yang pair. Two, which is yin and yang, plus one, the Tao. One is Tao, Tao is one. The oneness condition creates three, and three creates the countless things, okay? This is the unified field coming into creation and subdividing countless times. This countless beings naturally reverses. It's on its journey back to Tao, okay? So the Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. It gives birth to yin and yang. The master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. Why is that? It's because the master lives in harmony with the Tao. I'll just get this slide. This slide we've gone over a few times. So this is that there. Above this line is the Kung world, the emptiness world. Below it is the world of form. Above the line is what we don't see. Below the line is what we see with our eyes. So the sage has aligned himself with the Tao. Therefore, she welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It's empty, but infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. Again, the center can be looked at this, the middle way, the middle path. Most relationships oscillate between incredible highs and incredible lows. Okay, we live in extremes. Humanity is so easily pulled from left to right. So in Buddhism and Taoism, they follow the middle path. It's to be detached from the extremes, detached from yin and yang. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. So in this text, Lao Tzu says, the sage goes around teaching no talking. What would he do if he was listening to me? He'd probably say, Nick, you haven't got a clue about the Tao because you won't shut up. But it's very interesting because in the introduction to this version of this book, this translation, he tells a story of a poet that said, if Lao Tzu was the one that knew, why did he write a book of 5,000 words if he said that the more you talk of it, the less you understand? And in that story, his answer to that is, a spiritual teacher has to be a blabbermouth. I'm not claiming to be a spiritual teacher, don't get me wrong. But back to this way of living here, if I look at my teacher as an example, when he's teaching, he's here. He teaches direct to the point. But when he's not teaching, he's silent. He's empty. He's quiet. Okay. And this is a great teaching. It's the best way I can explain that to in my experience. Less talking. Before we go on to the next chapter, does anyone want to say anything? Do you want to share something, buddy?
I just want to say, what's
That's a great question. I can't see other people. I'm so sorry. Just let me get to.
I have a question, Nick.
Yes, Silvana, just one second. I'm trying to get to see if I can see you guys. I can't see you guys.
There should be a button, Nick, that you can get like it's all lining up down the right hand side, or the
show video.
like
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I can see you now. Thank you. Yeah, go on, Silvana.
Oh, apologies. Just a very quick question. If you go back to that slide that you did, which is a wonderful slide, it's a beautiful example. Thank you. The one
This
with
one?
the yin and the one before that. Yeah, yes, the one
Yep,
just up
this
there.
one.
Perfect. So you know when you put the yin and the yang in the center, and that's heaven there, isn't it? Where's heaven?
So look, this is the nature of yin yang. So heaven and earth are a yin yang pair.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
so when it goes there, it's just saying the nature of heaven and earth. Yin yang is the nature of everything. The front and back side of the body is a yin yang pair. Top and bottom half of the body is a yin yang pair. Yin yang pair gets subdivided, countless male, female. But if you look at our physical existence, for example, we have a physical body, which belongs to the earth. We have a soul that belongs to heaven. And between those two, that's two, yin and yang, plus the Tao, because we all exist within the Tao, and Tao resides in everything. We can create more life with that basis. Does that make sense?
No, yes, it does. Thank you. So there's still the yin and the yang in heaven, or those layers of heaven lower than the Tao, and there's also heavy energies there too. Is that correct?
Correct. So
Right.
yin and yang, a lot of people, me included, when I first got introduced to these teachings, I thought that heaven was the source of the space, okay? But as we spoke about last week, there's a chapter that Lao Tzu says, let's see if I can find it. I don't know who gave birth to it. It's older than God, okay? So if we look at this here, God in China is called Lao Chenya, okay? Lao Chenya means the great grandfather of heaven. So even in this Yo world, which is the existence world below this line, the divine God is actually like an entity, okay? Is a soul. It's our spiritual father and mother. It's all benevolent. It has melded as one with the Tao. But Lao Tzu, what he's saying here is he's saying there's something beyond even God. It's older than God. I don't know who gave birth to it. That's what he says in later chapters. He says it in that chapter as well, but he talks about it again. He says there's something mysterious there. I don't know what it is. So we can't, he actually says the Tao that can be told or comprehended by thoughts is not the eternal Tao. He starts the book by saying that. So he's basically saying where we are here, we can't actually see, hear, or experience the Tao. So even heaven is in the world of existence. Okay.
Thank you.
hope it's making sense. If it doesn't, that's totally fine. We can keep rolling. Unless anyone wants to say anything. The Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty yet inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. The Tao is like the Great Mother. What do we call nature? Mother Nature. What do we call the earth? Mother Earth, okay? Because they provide for us. The Great Mother is what provides for heaven. It provides for the earth and it provides for everything. It gives birth to infinite worlds. Now, I'm just going to skim over. We're going to come back to this in the practice. But in the first week, chapter 1, when I did an introduction to the Tao Te Ching and an introduction to Lao Tzu, who he was, I shared that Lao Tzu came 250 years after Pengzu. Pengzu was 880 years of age. He was known as the long life star and the founder of Buddhism in China. After he left, 250 years, Lao Tzu comes, means the old master. No one knew his family. No one knew anything about him, but he was very wise, okay? My teachers released that Lao Tzu is Pengzu 250 years later. So he's roughly 1200 years old when he wrote this text. And he still didn't die. The last anyone saw of him, he wrote this text, got on his ox and just took off, okay? So why am I sharing that? Because he talks in this chapter of how he's not like ordinary people. He drinks from the Great Mother's breast, okay? So this is a practice that my teachers released. Never be grateful enough personally for this, but what he's released is that practice that Lao Tzu and Pengzu did every day. And I'm going to share it with you today and we'll skim over it now. Dao Shengyi, Dao creates one. Qian Yi Jin Shui. Qian Yi Jin Shui is receiving heaven's sacred liquid through the acupuncture point, through the crown chakra at the top of the head. Jin Jin Yuye is golden liquid, jade liquid. It's Mother Earth's sacred liquid, okay? They're a yin-yang pair. Mother Earth's sacred liquid comes up through your feet, through the base of your tummy, base of your in between your genitals and your anus, acupuncture point there called the Hui Yin. And they meet in your palate. They meet at your palate and saliva is formed. Saliva is very important in Taoist practice. The next line is Yen Ru Dantia. swallow it down as golden liquid into the lower dantian. The Jindan is formed, okay? Shen Qi Jing Hui, which is soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter of everything, forms in your lower abdomen, in your lower dantian. Qian Di Ren Hui, which is heaven, Mother Earth, and human beings join, the essence of them join again in your lower abdomen. We've already shared that in the body, above your chest belongs to heaven in the body. Below your waist down belongs to the earth, and in between belongs to humanity. So if you have challenges in your physical body from here up, you may have to do serious forgiveness with the spiritual world. You may have gone against heaven. You may have caused people, or me as well, we may have caused people to get lost in a past life on this spiritual path. From the waist down, if you suffer, you may have polluted the earth or created a lot of harm to the earth. If it's between the chest and your lower abdomen, if you suffer there, you may have harmed human beings, okay? So this is how we know what life is showing us, so we can heal it through forgiveness. But with this practice, it's a very powerful practice, we are building the, we're building the Jindan. This is the Tao journey, the Tao light body. We do these practices, we build the light, and it covers our whole being. The next lines are Jindan Liancheng. Jindan is formed. Bai Bing Xiao Chu, all sickness disappears. Yu Fang Bai Bing, prevent all sickness. Fan Lao Huan Tung, return old age to the health and purity of a baby state. Chang Shou Yongsheng, longevity, immortality. Every line in this is very, very profound. So again, we're going to keep repeating these teachings. How does this work? In Taoism, behind your navel, in the core of your body, you have a sacred location called the Kungong. It's an oil lamp. When you're brand new born, your baby that's born in good health has a full oil lamp. Lao Tzu talks about it in later chapters. When we're roughly 50 years old, we've lost 50% of that oil lamp because we leak energy all the time through our negative thoughts, our negative speech, and what we hear. When we're 80 years of age, we have, say, 20% left. But with spiritual practice, doing this practice I'm going to share with you tonight, what I've just gone over, we can basically fill that oil lamp up. And this is how we achieve longevity, so we can achieve more on the spiritual path. So we'll go over that at the end. That'll be tonight's meditation. But we'll move on to chapter 7. The Tao is infinite, eternal. Why is it eternal? It was never born, thus it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself. Thus, it is present for all beings. The master stays behind. That is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things. That is why she is one with them. Because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled. It's a beautiful chapter. Does anyone want to ask any questions on that? This sunshine. Anyone want to ask any questions on that? Are you okay? You can keep pulling from. Okay. So the Tao is infinite, eternal. Why is it eternal? It was never born, thus it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself. Thus it is present for all beings. My teacher always says this. He says, the reason we grow old, okay, and you want to write this down because this is really important wisdom. The reason we grow old is because we think of ourselves. In Tibetan Buddhism, they say every thought of suffering or any suffering we experience in our life is due to selfish thinking in the past. Any good karma, good merit, or positive thinking is due to us having selfless actions in the past. So my teacher said, we age because we think of the self, which means because by doing that, we become here, we come into this world, the existence world, and we separate ourselves from the Tao. We live here and we separate ourselves from the source. You see, this circle is the Tao. It's the whole picture. So my teacher always says, the Tao is not far from us. We are far from Tao. If you look at heaven, earth, human beings in this diagram, we're down the bottom. The Tao is up here. Therefore, we're furthest away from the Tao. But the Tao is always here in the present moment. We can meld with the Tao by aligning with the nature of Tao. Okay, we'll do this in later weeks, the 10 conditions of nature. So the Tao has no desires for itself, thus it's present for all beings. So my teacher says, if you think of the sun, heaven, and the earth, why does it last such a long time? It lives such a long life because it's selfless. Nature is selfless. We keep abusing this planet, this and like soil, and the soil just tries its best to provide for us and for everything else. No matter what we do, no matter how bad a person you are, how much suffering you create, the sun will shine on you, whether you're a good person or a bad person. The nature is in harmony with the Tao, thus it lives a longer life. The master stays behind. That is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things. That is why she is one with them. She's detached from all the form, detached from the drama, detached from judgments, opinions, gossiping. So she's one with the Tao. So by being detached from this world, she can be one for everything. She can be present for all beings because she is living in harmony with the Tao. Because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled. Same. She's let go of this world. No attachments to the world of form. She is one with the Tao. Any questions on that?
So Nick,
Yes.
so you let go of this world to be part of the Tao. So what is the purpose of us being born into the world then?
Born,
Do you get what?
yeah, I do, yeah. Because everything in creation is here for a reason. In the Zen tradition, they say every snowflake lands perfectly in its place. There's an intelligence that is far greater than what our mind can understand. So we have a purpose here. So what Lao Tzu is pointing at is not saying don't care about this. He's saying by detaching from this and being one with the Tao, the Tao's nature is selflessness. Therefore, we can truly be of service. My teacher doesn't tell everybody to completely detach. In fact, you wouldn't put the effort into trying to detach if you didn't care about the world. If you actually didn't care, that's a selfish mindset. If you said, you know what, I don't care what happens, I'm just going to chill out every day and just, think about myself or watch Netflix. That's completely opposite to the Tao. So by detaching from the world of form, that doesn't even mean that you don't respect form, because form is a manifestation of the Tao. We're going to get into some beautiful chapters over the coming weeks that really explain the harmony between form and the Tao. Therefore, if I hadn't, my Buddhist teacher used to say this to me. My Buddhist teacher used to say, if you hadn't drank water for 2 weeks and you were dying of thirst, this bottle of water is more important to you than anything. You get me? So we can love and appreciate the meditation stool I'm sitting on, the computer that's allowing me to be in contact with all you guys, but we're not attached to it. We're not attached to it. In Tibetan Buddhism, what they do is they suggest that you learn with small things first. But let's say it's this watch, right? Let's say I actually do like this watch. It really serves me. I use it a lot. It's got a stopwatch on it and I enjoy it, right? But if somebody came over to me and said, Nick, can I have that watch? Okay, I would say, yeah, you can have the watch. And it's gone. You've completely let go of attachment to it. And Buddhist practitioners practice this. They give things away as a way of detaching from things. But you still have to take baby steps. It's so funny that we're talking about this synchronicity, because I've just had this conversation with a friend of mine today. Let's say, for example, someone said, Nick, I really love your car, right? Can I have your car? And I said, yeah, mate, you can take my car. They might take my car, but then if it creates more, if I'm not ready to let it go, or I'm not in a position to go and buy another car, I can't get to work, and I haven't got money to buy a new car, and my family might struggle, then you've jumped the gun, right? You might still be at peace, don't get me wrong, but start with baby steps. Somebody went to the Buddha once and said they were really tight. They had a lot of wealth back in the day, and they just couldn't get the concept of generosity. They were too attached to their stuff to give it away. And the Buddhists give anything away. And the Buddha said, start holding something in your right hand and give it to your left hand. Okay. That's literally where he got this gentleman to start at. He said, start by giving from one hand to the other hand. And when that feels comfortable, start giving something small to someone that you love. Okay, start with that and then build it up. And he ended up being a very generous man. So it's not about not caring about the world. It's actually about caring deeply for the world, and but detaching from it so that we can be one with the Tao. Because the Tao is harmony, you see. The Tao is harmonious. Anything else before we go to the next one? Yeah, mate.
Can you go back on this?
This one?
Yeah. You know the way you say without all things like, for example, if there was no sadness, there's no happiness, it's just oneness. If this world is impermanent, and this world is permanent, if that goes, because it's impermanent, would there be no such thing as permanent or impermanent? And also you need like yin, yang, or stuff.
Yin yang exists here in the world of form. Okay, so this is impermanent. Like you can't explain up without down. Okay, they need each other, but the Tao is outside of even that. There is no up, there is no down, there is no good or bad in the Tao. Does that make any sense? Yeah. Okay, we go to chapter 8. And as I said, if anyone wants to ask any questions or share anything, please do. The supreme good is like water. It nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus, it is like the Tao. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you. It's such a deep chapter. Does anyone want to share anything on that before I share anything on it?
So, it's Debbie here.
Hello, Debbie.
In conflict, you're being attacked by your daughters for not being vaccinated.
Yeah.
And they're punishing you.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to be fair and generous. I try. I love them unconditionally, like no matter what, but it's a hard one.
It is a hard one. It is a hard one.
It is, yeah.
But the only thing that we can control is ourselves.
Yes.
That's the only thing we can do. So if you look at the nature of impermanence, okay, the nature of impermanence, there's a famous spiritual saying, this too will pass. I read about a master and his disciple. I think it was in Tibet. And the only teaching, the disciple was with the guru for years, like 30, 40 years. And they spent most of their time in silence. And the only teaching he ever gave him, the only thing he repeated over and over again, he'd said, you will die, I will die. And every time he shared that with his disciple, the disciple got another layer of understanding. It's because the nature of impermanence is so powerful. So my suggestion or my advice on that situation is it will pass. And all you can do is be fair and generous and give love, because you already love them. They're your kids, okay?
Yeah.
And with understanding, looking deeply into how they see the world, you can understand their fears and what they're going through. And when you understand it, you can naturally forgive them. Even though you forgive them already, you're their mum, but it'll give you a better understanding of seeing the world through their eyes.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick. I wish I knew how long this would last for.
But I'm glad you said that, because what the mind is doing, mind is jumping into time. Okay. Remember I said in this, we constantly oscillate throughout this text between the world of form and the world of emptiness. Lao Tzu's always at the same time bringing us back to the present moment, is explaining the difference between living in time and living in the now. So right now, you've just said, which is fine. I'm glad you said it. You said, I wish I knew how long it would take. See, that's time, you see. And because it's future, it'll create anxiety in your life. Therefore, just be present now. Be fair and generous now. Because someone might tell you, you know what, Debbie, this could last for 50 years, but that's not the truth. No one knows that. You might change your heart space tonight, and you might get a call tonight off your daughters, and they're telling you they love you. We don't know. It might have already been resolved while you're on this call. You with me? So don't let time jump in. And as the mind runs around, always reflect. Every time you have a thought, is it in time? Is it thinking about the past or the future? And it will be, because the mind needs time. Is it a problem to the mind? A problem. The problem is the food for the mind. So the mind's always thinking about past and future, and it's always creating problems in the past and future and trying to relive them in the now. So I know you know all this, Debbie.
Yeah, I do. It's
Just-
hard to, I just need you in my ear.
That's okay. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. It's
Thank
all
you
good.
so much.
No, thank you for being on. It's all good.
Okay.
Does anyone else want to share anything?
I'll just share very briefly, if I can, Nick, just also to support Debbie. Just, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can understand how she feels, how you feel, Debbie. I mean, it is challenging, but that is the reality that we have free will, and similarly to you, I have those challenges. And the way that I manage is just to send them lots of love, and I ask for forgiveness through obviously whatever ancestral or descendants that I have that has occurred, that I just take responsibility for, and that's it's a very healing way of detaching, loving them deeply, but realizing that they have their own soul journey. And yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, because you totally have to surrender, but and it's constant. Yeah.
Thank you, Sylvain. Anyone else? I thought someone else was going to say something then. No, okay. We're going to touch on water. The supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. You think about the nature of water, it's not trying to be good, and it doesn't want any recognition, okay? But it nourishes life. It gives life to everything. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus it is like the Tao. What's that mean? If you look at water, it flows down even into low places, okay? Even into like dirty places, and it serves there. It serves in public toilets, okay? It goes in places we wouldn't want to go in, because we are attached to the self, okay? And things. The water is close to the Tao. In the physical world, water is most like the Tao. He says in later chapters, nothing wears through the hard and inflexible greater than water. There's a story of when Lao Tzu, someone was asking about the nature of soft always being lasting longer than hard and rigidness. And this goes for mindset, this goes for the physical body, and we can get into these in later chapters. And apparently there was an old man in the street, and Lao Tzu went over and gently opened his mouth, and the old man had no teeth left. And Lao Tzu said, you see, the teeth are stronger than the tongue, but the tongue lasts longer than the teeth. Okay, so water is very, very special. I want to do a video soon as well, because I've actually had an even deeper insight into water that I want to share. So in dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. Do you think that just that one line, if everybody just kept to the simple thinking, that would change the world alone? I think it would. I heard a Taoist master in the Wudang Mountains. He said, if you're hungry, right, just go and eat. Just go and get something and eat. He said, the more where humans are struggling right now is the thought process that goes into something as simple as eating is just too complicated. In conflict, be fair and generous. Okay, you're not taking sides. You're not being offended. You're not seeing someone's right and someone's wrong. Be fair and generous to the whole situation. In governing, don't try to control. Do you think our government is trying to control around the world? This is because we're so far from the Tao. But it's good because they're doing a great service. They're showing us what does not work. In work, do what you enjoy, because it doesn't feel like work. I love there's a beautiful quote. Work is love made visible, or love in action, I think it is. So in work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. How important is that? You think of our kids, and we think that kids need more toys They need more. They need more holidays. They need more this, that, and the other with the family. In all honesty, my experience with Bo, he just is happy when I'm just listening to him and I'm just with him. And I'm sorry if I don't do that enough, my lad. And when you are content to be simply yourself and you don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you. This is like the teaching of emptiness for me, actually, in Buddhism, because we humans love dogs and they love babies, because when you look into a baby's eyes, for example, they have no separate self-identity yet. They're just empty and pure. They're close to the Tao. Okay, they're close to the Tao. Therefore, humans don't feel like they need to play a role in front of the baby. They can be themselves because they know they're not being judged. It's the same with dogs. People usually who have big egos and big personalities in public can be very themselves when they're with animals. So when you can be simply who you are and you don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you. Everyone will see that there's no judgment there. It's like looking into the eyes of a baby. This is why people generally feel a peace around genuine masters, people who've mastered themselves. I'm just going to touch on water in the body, okay? We've gone over this before. Just went over it a little bit earlier. 10 is which is heaven, D, Mother Earth, Ren, which is human beings. So as I said, three different parts of the body, but it's known as the Sanjiao, okay? Sanjiao is the three parts of the body, and they're like the three rivers. If we look at this image here, the Waijiao is like the ocean in the body. So do us a favor, Bob. Can you just face that way? Kneel here, just face that way. I'll just show you this. So if you look at someone's back, the back of their body, the whole, like if I used to use the whole width of my arm, the whole down the back of his body, right? The whole width of his body. Thanks, mate. That is the Waijiao. It's the whole back from the head down to the base of the body, but it's in front of the spine. Okay, see this blue area here? It's the biggest space in the body. Now, my teacher's teacher, Master Guo, he said that 90% or more, thank you, Bob, of humanity have blockages in the Waijiao. Now, when we look at water, right, even Mantak Chia said the same thing. There's 3 pumps in the body. Stagnation is one of the things that creates sickness in the body. So we slouch so much and we eat foods that are, and we have, bad gut health and all the rest of it, that when the food goes to our gut and the water goes there, which is blood, okay, to take the nutrients, if it stays there, if it's not circulating properly, we have stagnation. If you look at a pond, okay, it gets dirty. It's not flowing. Water needs to be flowing. Write this down. Watch a documentary called The Secret of Water. Beautiful documentary. I think it's on the Gaia Network. They talk about a lot of water, and they show how even in a house, water in right angles and pipes is the worst thing for the water. Water needs to flow naturally. So in the body, Taoists use breathing techniques and in yogic practices to pump fluid around the body, pushing their tummy in and out. But also the Waijiao is very important to keep clear, okay? And a beautiful way to do this, if you're a healing practitioner, I know some of you guys do massage or Reiki and things like this, patting the body, patting the back, okay? So if you have someone lying down or even standing up, you can pat their shoulders, right? You can add the 4 power techniques. So this is body power. You can add soul power, which we'll do shortly, which is to invoke the soul world and the soul of what you're doing. So dear soul, mind, body of the Waijiao. You have the power to heal yourself and clear yourself of stagnant energy. dear, the divine, the Tao, all our spiritual fathers and mothers, please help bless this person that we're offering a blessing to. It could be your kids, could be your mum, anyone who's suffering. You pat their back with whatever feels right for you. Some people might need, I've given my wife, she's very petite, my wife, and she wasn't feeling good once, and I give her a pretty good whacking, and she said she felt really, really, really good after it, because what you do is you want to pat down the back. So you're patting the energy down the back, down the kidneys, patting the wides out, which is creating stimulation, cellular vibration, and you pat it down to the Kundalini, okay, which is basically at the tailbone, just in front of the spine, or anywhere down that area, because we can never have too much energy in our lower abdomen. It creates a strong foundation. And if you look at this light, if you look where my mouse is, if we're patting here, pat, 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 bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down to here, pat, 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 and then we stop patting, we start back at the top, pat, 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 pat. You're building the Jung, which is the core of life, the core of a human being. What happens in turn when this happens? we open up the spinal column too. And once we build energy here, we naturally get energy flowing, which is this golden or yellow line up, zigzagging, spiraling. Energy never travels in a straight line. It spirals up the spine. Someone's saying hello here. Anyway, so it travels up the spine, and then it actually nourishes the brain and the third eye. Okay, this is how we open our spiritual channels as well. There you go, mate. So this is a very powerful practice. So if you were looking at the back of someone, that's what the Wise Yao looks like. But don't just be limited to that. You can actually pat the legs. You can pat the legs, the soles of the feet. I might do a video one day on Paida. It's a technique, a Taoist technique. It's slapping certain areas of the body. It actually creates yang energy and it pushes toxicity out of the body. But that's a slightly different practice. You can just pat the legs, pat legs up to this point, the lower, the base of the spine, and from the top down. Anyone got any questions on that? Because we'll get into a meditation after this chapter, I think.
Yes, I do. Next,
hello,
Lucy. Yeah, hi.
How you going?
Good, thank you. I'm really enjoying today. This is awesome. So my question is around the patting. So when we're doing that for another person, do they need to be standing up or can they be lying down? Like, which is the best way?
There's no best way. It's yin-yang alternation. Okay, so if somebody stands up all day and work, get them to lie down.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You get me?
Yeah.
If someone's always lying down and they're pretty lazy, get them to stand up.
Yeah, that
But
makes sense.
also go off how they feel as well. You can do this with your dog as well, by the way. You can do this with anything. You just patting your dog. My teacher calls it soul tapping. Okay, if you actually get in tune with yourself, you can allow your own soul to guide where you pat. Okay, it's very, very beautiful. So get into a meditative state and then ask your soul, dear my soul, please guide my body to pat, a soul tap the appropriate areas for this beloved one that I'm working with. Okay. And so yeah, you just feel into it. But like, think about when you have a baby, what you do, pat the baby. Okay. It's soothing.
Yeah.
And we can do it to ourselves, by the way.
Yeah, well, how would you do that for your back?
So with your back, there's different Paida techniques, which is against the wall. But there is a meridian practice, which I'm sure I've made a video of it somewhere. I'll try and find it and share it. And if I haven't, I'll make a video of it. It's a really powerful practice. So you have 5 elements in the body, but there's also 5 elements, meridian pathways in the body. So there's different pattern techniques, tapping techniques that I'll share with you guys. And honestly, if you did that every time before you did a meditation, because obviously the sitting silently is a yin practice, But
Mm.
sometimes it's always good to stimulate energy movement. If you want to chant a mantra, chant out loud. If you can, chant really loud. Like we've been singing Shen Qi Jing Hui, Qian Di Ren Hui. Don't this week. If you get the chance, sing really loud. Okay, like you're singing in the shower. Really get your lungs moving and chant loud, and then go into silence and just feel it. It's a very, very powerful. So sometimes, you know, you do a tapping practice and a movement practice. When you sit in silence, you go far deeper. In fact, my teacher said that 70% of his students are not moving enough. He reckons that movement practice is the quickest way to stillness. So you write that down. Anything like that, these are beautiful one sentence secrets.
Yeah, nice. Oh my gosh, such beautiful learnings tonight. And is this what you would call a Qigong practice, or is it quite different? Is it different name?
So my teacher's a grandmaster in Qigong and Feng Shui and Kung Fu and all the rest of it. And basically his teacher was Qigong, it's a master of many disciplines. The difference here is when we look at Shen Qi Jing, okay, Jing is matter. So Western medicine only focuses on matter. So if you have a cancer, they cut it out, or they give you a matter, which will be a tablet, and the matter will change the biochemistry in the body to try and fix matter. It's matter trying to fix matter.
Mm.
Traditional Chinese medicine focuses on energy.
Energy, yeah.
So one sentence secret in traditional Chinese medicine is if qi flows, one is healthy. If qi is blocked, one is sick. So therefore they use acupuncture, which is still matter, okay, but it's to help promote energy. And they use practices like Qigong. Qigong is movement, moving energy to keep the energy flow moving. But this is actually soul healing, okay? Soul healing is energy and matter are carriers of message. So the message that's in the field, which is our karma, okay? If you have negative karma, it affects where the energy and the matter go. So this is like addressing all of them on every level, because if you're a pattern, this is matter, and it's promoting energy flow. But the key is in the invocation. So we are addressing the soul world. So you have a sore shoulder and you want to pat it, you'd still address it. Any soul that I have harmed in any lifetime, for me to be experiencing this, all my ancestors, go deep into that. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I invite you in love to do universal meditation so that we can heal our karma. I forgive you unconditionally. That is changing the message, okay? It might take, so it's faster. You think about, I'll give you an example. Just let's say somebody has cancer, right? And they go on a juice fast. And the juice fast heals the cancer. Or they go on chemotherapy and they get it cut out. And they have a period where there's no cancer. A lot of times that cancer will come back. If you stop the diet, the cancer will come back. Or you stop or the treatment does so much damage to the body or something. It's because you're dealing with it on the level of matter. The message is still the same. You haven't healed the root cause. The root cause is karma. So, dear soul, mind, body of my shoulder, I love you. Anything that's entangled in this suffering, please forgive me. I forgive you. May we save all beings together. And you chant Tao love or Tao light or God's light, God's light, God's light, whatever. Okay, that's just a simple example, but never underestimate the simplicity. When my teacher left China to come to the West, he said to Master Guo, his teacher, he said, Master, what's going to be, remember this is so powerful, what's going to be my biggest challenge when I get to the West? And Master Guo said, your biggest challenge will be getting people to understand the simplicity of healing.
Yeah. Wow.
Profound, very big secret. Because I was speaking to a friend a few weeks ago, and he was telling me about something he'd watched with the concept of adding because we live in ego consciousness, which is here, the world of form, separation, okay? The ego always tries to add something to try and solve a problem. We add, we add, we add. You look at the health and safety industry, it's crazy. They're just trying to add things to try and solve problems.
Yeah.
But in the Tao, he says later on in these chapters, in the pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. Okay. If you look at our life, we're constantly buying things, adding to our attachments. In the pursuit of the Tao, every day something is dropped. And he's talking about knowledge. And it's a paradox because in some ways you have to learn the wisdom to then drop it. You have to drop the spiritual practice. You have to drop every day in the Tao journey. You let go of something until you're completely naked and happy with where you are. I'll try and just give this last teaching quite quick so we can do a meditation. In the Heart Sutra, they talk about the boat that carries you across the bitter sea to the other shore, to enlightenment. And he shared the story of 5 men carrying this big, heavy boat, and it's crippling them, okay? They're in agony trying to hold it up. And someone said, why don't you drop the boat? They said, we can't drop the boat. This boat has just saved our lives. It got us across to the other shore. And he shared the story because what he's saying is, we need spiritual practices. Okay, we need mantras, we need spiritual practices. The practice is the boat that takes us to the other shore. But once we get there, even the practice that got us there has to be dropped. The boat has to be dropped, otherwise the boat becomes a burden. You can't attach to anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, profound. All right, so beautiful. I think you have to do a video for the patting.
Yeah, no, I will. I'll do a
amazing.
video where I pat somebody else. I'll show you that, and I'll do one where we can work on the 5 elements, meridians in the body, and you'll love it. Honestly, if you do it, you'll feel so energized. But tonight's practice is going to be a good one as well. So
thank you so much, Nick. This is really beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we'll do a practice. Unless anyone else has got any questions, please feel free. Okay. I'm going to guide you through every step of what the mantra means, because as I say, it's Chinese. And in our group chat on Messenger, I will put a recording of me chanting it, and also I'll print off the actual pronunciation and everything, okay? So I invite everyone to just get comfortable. Sorry, Bobo, just take that back there, sunshine. This is one of my favorite practices. I shared this. This is on YouTube, Facebook. I'm going to put on YouTube. There's a movement practice to this, where we move the body. And but tonight we won't do that. We'll just do it in meditation. So close your eyes and let go of everything that is not in this present moment. We'll place our hands in the yin-yang palm position, which is left hand, grab the left thumb with our right hand, curl it over. And you can alternate between squeezing your hands 80% and then releasing. Squeezing and releasing. We emit energy from our hands. This builds a strong foundation, okay? This is body power. You sit up straight. And just rest your awareness on your breath. And if there's turbulent wind churning up the waters and it's choppy, we see that all of the sand of the bottom of the ocean gets pulled up and the water is murky. So as we slow our breath and we anchor ourselves, the water settles down as we calm, and the mud settles and we can see clearly. So allow your body and mind to stop. Now we're going to use the mind from this place of stillness as the great tool that it is. I'm going to invoke 2 power techniques. So the soul power. And as I invoke the soul world, visualize, see the souls that I'm invoking and feel them. Okay, feel them. This is using mind power. If you create an image of Jesus, Jesus is there. Dear soul, mind, body of the divine, however you see God, whether it's pure light, whether it's a being, whatever. Dear God, the divine, benevolent, all-loving consciousness. Dear the Tao, the source. The countless healing angels, archangels, holy saints, and Taoist saints. Just as if you were calling beings from different parts of the world, okay? Different traditions feel different. Indians, the culture feels very different than Chinese. So as you call the soul world, healing angels feel different, have a different light, different healing vibration, different wisdom than holy saints, different path to the Tao. Holy saints, different from Taoist saints, different wisdom. See it and feel it, different light. The countless Buddhist masters, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, countless heaven's generals and soldiers, Akashic record workers, keepers, leaders, ascended masters, lamas, gurujis, kahunas, rinpoches, and elders of the lands. They are all of our ancestors. They are all layers of heaven, the heavenly bodies, the stars, the sun, the moon, they are Mother Earth. They are all humanity and all life. We love you all, honor you all, appreciate you all. They are any soul of our being, our body soul, the souls of our systems, organs, cells, DNA, RNA, spaces, 5 elements, every aspect of our being. Inner souls, outer souls. We love you, honor you, appreciate you. Please, all beings, forgive me and my ancestors for any mistakes we've made in this life, past lives. We forgive all beings unconditionally and feel that. What does it feel like to forgive all beings? Is God all forgiven? Is the Tao all forgiven? Of course. May we join as one in love, in peace, in harmony. So this mantra, I'll guide you through each line. So sound power is to chant a mantra. Mantra carries a vibration, a message. And we're going to use the mind. We're going to see what we're doing here. So Tao Shungi. Tao Shungi means Tao creates the oneness. Put your mind on oneness. Tian Yi Jinshui. Mother Earth's sacred liquid. So heaven's sacred liquid. How vast is the heavens? see incredible light pouring from every direction into the top of our head, filling our being with light. Jin, Jin, Yuye. Golden liquid, jade liquid, heaven's sacred liquid coming up from the earth. How vast is the earth? The oceans, the rivers, mountains, forests, the energy, the essence of all that coming up the center of the body into the palate. Yin yang energies form in the palate and manifest as saliva. You'll start creating saliva. If you don't create saliva the first round, that's fine. You might need a few rounds. Let it gather in your mouth. Let it gather the saliva in your mouth. Yen Ru Dantian. When you have it, you swallow the saliva down and see it as golden light. And you swallow it down the center channel into your lower dantian. Feel that warm liquid going into your lower dantian. Jindan Liancheng means Jindan is formed. Your golden Dan, the golden light ball in your lower abdomen, is growing. Shen Qi Jing Hui, soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter of all creation come to your lower abdomen, come to your Jindan to form your Jindan. And it's a two-way process. This we are calling the Shen Qi Jing of all things into our Dan. But by doing that, we are building and purifying the Shen Qi Jing of all things in this practice. So it's a universal practice as well. Tian Di Ren Hui, heaven, Mother Earth, humanity, join as one, the essence, join as one in our lower abdomen. By Bing Xiaochu, all sickness disappears. Any sicknesses in our thoughts, in the physical body, any diseases, any darkness in the body, and in our message, in our spirit, is purified by this light. All sickness disappears. Yufang Baibing, prevent all sickness. This is the longevity practice. Clear all sickness, heal our karma, prevent all sickness. Fan Lao Huan Tung, retain old age to the health and purity of the baby state. This is filling our oil lamp. Chang Shou Yongsheng, longevity and immortality. I'll chant it again. Bao Sheng Yi, Qian Yi Zhen Shui, Jin Jin Yu Ye, Yen Ru Dantian, Shen Qi Jing Hui, Tian Di Ren Hui. Bai Bing Xiao Chu, Yu Fang Bai Bing, Fan Lao Huan Tong, Chang Shou Yongsheng. Tao creates one. Sacred heaven liquid comes into the top of the head. See it. Heaven's sacred liquid comes up to the palate. Mother Earth, sorry, my bad. Swallow down to the lower dantian. Jindan is formed. Shen Qi Jing Hui, soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter accumulate in the lower abdomen. Heaven, Mother Earth, human beings accumulate in the lower abdomen. All sickness disappears. Prevent all sickness. Retain old age to the baby state, longevity and immortality. I'm going to sing it for you. Dao Sheng Yi, Tian Yi Zhen Shui, Jin Jin yu ye yan ru dan qian shen qi jing he yi qian di ren he yi jin dan lian cheng bai bing shao chu yu fang bai bing fan lao huan tung chang shou yong cheng Dao sheng yi, Dao creates one. Qian yi zhen shui, heaven's sacred liquid. Jin jin yu ye, Mother Earth's sacred liquid. Yan ru dan qian, swallow into the lower abdomen. Shen qi jing he, soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter join as one. Tian di ren he, heaven, Mother Earth, humanity join as one. Jin dan lian cheng, Jin dan is formed by being shao chu, all sickness disappears. Yu fang bai being prevents all sickness. Fan lao huan tung, retain old age to the health and purity of a baby state. Chang shou yong sheng, longevity, immortality. Tao sheng yi, tian yi zhen shui, jin jin yu ye, yan ru dan qian shen qi jing he yi qian di ren he yi jin dan lian cheng bai bing shao chu yu fang bai bing fan lao huan tung chang shou yong sheng. I'll chant one more time and we go to silence. Dao sheng yi, qian yi zhen shui, jin jin yu ye, yan ru dan qian shen qi jing he yi qian di ren he yi jin dan lian cheng bai bing shao chu yu fang bai bing fan lao huan tung chang shou yong sheng. Silent. Tao creates one. Receive heaven's sacred liquid. Receive Mother Earth's sacred liquid. Swallow down to the lower dantian. Soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter of all things join as one. Heaven, Mother Earth, human beings join as one. Jin Dan is formed, growing, bigger than the body. See it, feel it. All sickness disappears. Prevent all sickness. This is Tao reverse creation, returning back to the health and purity of a baby state. filling our oil lamp. Longevity, immortality is achieved. See the Jindan, bigger than the body. Feel the light transmute any suffering into this pure essence, this high Tao frequency, vibration, and light. The peace we've created is our contribution to the field that connects all life. While we hold our vision, our awareness in the lower dantian, we're not leaking energy. It's a present moment practice. Throughout your week, try and hold focus in this area and complain. You can't do it. Everything, every thought, everything that comes in your awareness is a reminder to come back to the Jindan practice, back to focus and light in the lower abdomen. Stay with the breath, breathing in light into your lower abdomen. Sending our unconditional, our love with no conditions to all beings, to all humanity, all nature, all the trees, the insects, the animals, to our spiritual fathers and mothers. Sending our unconditional love to anyone that's ever hurt us. And now for a couple of minutes, let go of everything, every visualization, every technique, like dropping the boat, just for a few minutes, and do nothing but be right here now with the breath. Just be aware of the rise and fall of the body. Panoramic awareness, aware of everything that's going on without labeling it. Consciously doing, not doing. Wu Wei. I love and appreciate you all so much. It's important we love each other, we care for each other. And in the present moment, we never miss the opportunity to tell people we love them. Unconditional love is a love with no conditions on it. It is the Tao. The Tao loves us because it creates us. It's always there for us, but we don't know it. It's humble. So by being unconditionally loving, we can be detached and we can align with the divine and the Tao. I invite everyone to put your hands in the traditional prayer position. And we say how means perfect, get well. We give all our appreciation and love to the soul world, to each other. We say, thank you, thank you, thank you, love you, love you, love you. And we say, gong song, gong song, gong song. Gong song means respectfully return to all the souls that we called, okay? And when you're ready, you can just move your body, get the energy flowing in the body, take a few deep breaths, crack your knuckles, whatever you want to do, stretch your arms, whatever feels right, just come back into the body. I did say it would be a 2-hour slot for these nights, but I think an hour and a half is enough. We go through a lot of information in these sessions, but I really appreciate them. I need them just as much as anybody, and I'm glad that we're all here together. And so I really appreciate you guys taking the time to join every week. And if anyone wants to ask any questions before we close up or share anything, please feel free.
Thank you very much, Nick. That was wonderful.
No, thank you. Thank you very much.
And I detect a Liverpudlian accent there. Is that right?
Yeah. All my family and friends think I've completely lost it now, but yeah.
Yeah, mine do too. So.
All good. Everyone's okay with that. We can close up. I've recorded tonight, so I'll post that ASAP if anyone wants to go over the recordings and get whatever they need from it, or they want to share it. I'll put it on YouTube, and I'll also create those videos for you guys, which is the soul tapping ones. Okay. So yeah, all good. Do you know what? I never read the comments. I don't even notice them. So thank you. I've only just seen that everyone's wrote some nice things. All good, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. I'll close it up now. I love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Thank you.
Love you, Nick. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for the beautiful.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.